Hey Sean, today's my 25th birthday and I can't think of a better place to spend. Well, happy birthday, reviews for the people. Question: where could you see a potential Final Destination sequel going in terms of plot or direction? Well, I mean, the thing with the Final Destination is they're all pretty close to standalone little stories. Off the top of my head, I don't have like a pitch for what I would do that's interesting. My issue with most of the sequels is that they follow the same formula exactly. Accident occurs, but a person has a premonition, so they freak out, save a handful of lives. They figure out that people are dying in a specific order. They desperately try to convince everyone of this. People doubt them, then people believe them. They try to figure out the rules to cheat death and survive, and then people are killed off, and then the credits roll. That's the first 5 movies, every single one of them, and the formula's changed up with Bloodlines. Like, it has all those ingredients, but it plays them out differently. So if I were to do a Final Destination movie, like you say, it's like in plot and direction, like it's much more. It's not like what you think, what would I do with Peter Parker next, where you're developing a character. The thought with Final Destination is, how do you take this established lore and find something clever to do with it? What does that look like? And if you have these rules, what are the scenarios? What's the situation that throws death off its game, that plays differently? So the latest movie, what it did was, what if there was an event that was so big that it takes death a very long time to try and to claim all their lives, and because of that, there's new bloodlines and family lines because of it, so it takes even longer. That's interesting. That's taking the concept and just turning it on its head, playing it out over a longer period of time. What's that other idea? What's the next idea that does something like that? I don't have that off the top of my head. You have to kind of sit there and go, how do people die? What would that be? I don't have a pitch. And so you can pitch what's your change on the rules that is actually interesting and not just a gimmick like death shows up in pictures. Like that to me is not very interesting. But with the actual rules established and the way humans live and the way they die. And then, of course, you just play out what's the death scenarios that would be interesting. And but that's not a plot. That's just the kills. So, my thoughts would be trying to find a really interesting, deeper setup that finds something clever to do with the rules. But I don't have that off the top of my head. An earlier draft of Final Destination Bloodlines apparently had Kimberly from Final Destination 2 returning. Would you like to see her return sometime, since she's the only character to still be alive? Sure. I mean, the good, especially now with Tony Todd passing, that Tony Todd was our character that brings wisdom. So perhaps there's now a gap in the franchise where for a new person to step in and kind of be that voice. I don't find her to be one of the more memorable characters in the franchise, so I don't know if it would work. And certainly that actress is not Tony Todd. I don't know if you do a recast or whatever, but like, she doesn't have the same gravitas. Like, you just put Tony Todd in there, and there's a reason that, of course he's famous as Candyman, but he's been a character actor for 40 years and just appeared in all these little things. And whether he just show up in episodes of the X-Files or this little character over here, he just has that presence where he just kind of cuts through, and that's why they put him in Final Destination. We want someone that you talk to him and he's mysterious and intimidating and interesting, and he has that factor. And I don't know that Kimberly can replace that vibe or have something that's interesting in a different way. But, if they bring her in for something, I think they've done a good job of having standalone stories that always kind of have these little ties. And that would be a way to do that, that you don't need, it's built into it that this has happened before. This is where it happened over there. It's going to happen again. And so you can always, doesn't necessitate that you've seen two to understand that you're the one person that survived. Movies do that stuff all the time, but we already have the movie. We already have that prequel story about that. So yeah, sure.
Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.